Hey guys, it's Depay Lork here, and today we're going to be overlooking or going through some of the tournament lists or league lists that we have had brought in by community members. A little bit of a prequel league. I'm trying to work the kinks out of a thing for our 40k Orc community. If you're not familiar with it, I've done videos talking about it before. Find them on Facebook. Really good community. I'm currently joined with my arch nemesis, co-Australian Orc fucking Warboss, and a good friend Brak. Say hi, Brak.
I'm Brak. Hi, it's
So,
hi, Brak Da Warboss.
so we're just going to go through the lists that have been locked in for this league. We're actually in round one now. I just started round
Now,
one. I'm not sure if any games have happened yet. I haven't been sent any of the results. I'm the organizer. I'm currently playing in it, and I'm also the moderator of whatever the fuck this schmozzle is, this mess. But we're going to go through the lists. We're going to talk about our thoughts on them. Both of us have played in tournaments before, not recently, but thanks COVID. So we're going to go through the lists, talk about what we think about the lists and what we think or how they're going to perform, and just talk shit basically for the next few minutes. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you I'll put all the links in the description for army lists. I'll try to pay spin them or otherwise. If you want to check out those, they'll be in the description. I'll also link Brak Da Warboss. Check out his content. He does a lot of reviews, news, whole heap of stuff. Go check him out. And hopefully we'll be recording some bat reps that will be posted up on, I don't know whose channel. I'm going to be posting some up on mine, but definitely look out for those in the future.
I may be doing some of mine too. I haven't
Yeah,
worked that out
definitely.
yet. But yeah, and also, if you're liking this video, remember you got to like, hit, subscribe, do all that stuff. Give Pal some more algorithm love.
All that YouTube shit.
Yeah.
So let's check out, just going through in no particular order, the Scania's list that was posted by Scania from Plasticrack Gaming. So this is a Bloodaxe battalion. So Bloodaxe is not a common one that we usually see, but it's a Bloodaxe battalion, and it's also, he's capping the highest model count with 124 models in this list.
124 models.
124. It's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty nuts.
it's definitely boys before toys. And if there is one list here that scares me the most, it's got to be this one.
It's just,
but only
so
because
many
I don't have the tools to deal with it.
Mm.
And yeah, it's a classic horde list.
It really is. At 1,500 points, this many bodies is going to be hard to move.
Yeah,
and I think that's where it's really going to shine. With the Bloodaxe, I'm not sure. I think that's very thematic to Scania. He's a Bloodaxe Warboss, always has been. Huge advocate for the clan, but it's not something you usually see playing in competitive play. So it will be interesting to see whether or not the stratagems and specific Warlord traits will actually come into play in the future games through the tournament. But we are going to do a little bit of a breakdown. So visually you can see what's here. For anyone that's not clear on what the models are, I am going to do a breakdown now. So we have the 1,500 point game. It's Bloodaxes. We are looking at a Big Mech with a custom force field, a Paintboy with Power Claw, a War Banner with a custom shooter, a Weird Boy. The Weird Boy has to jump, and it also has the Bloodaxe's Clever Talk and Warp Head. And
that's a good one. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, it's good. And the Warboss is a Warboss with the Killer Claw, a Combi Rocket, and a Power Claw. So Power Claw, Kill Claw, same thing. Goes to, so that's 90 points by himself. Curious to see so many Warbosses played that aren't the biker ones. But we do, of the 8 lists, there are 4 Warbosses on bikes. So that's definitely
that's
something.
half and half. I think we all... And that's what I think I'm liking about all the lists I've seen so far, is there's so much variety, and it's also a bit of sameness at the same time. So we've got, obviously, we're all Orc players, and we've been doing this for a while, so we know what works for us, and I think that's reflecting in these lists. which
Oh,
is really great.
it's definitely not people playing, like no one's taking like meta. Do you know what I mean? So in
Yeah,
Australia, anyone unfamiliar, the Australians kind of like set the meta for orcs here because of their breakout like tournament winning lists that were either huge amounts of boys or buggies.
buggies.
Those
Yeah,
were 2K tournaments, and they just, instead of adhering to what the meta was, they just went completely out of the box, and no one could deal with, at the time, no one could deal with what they were doing. No one's taken anything like that. This is probably like the closest you'll get to the bulk boys, but being in Blood Axes, not having, yeah, there's a lot of things that could be like without like nitpicking at a list. There could be improvements to any of these lists, but they're also really. I think all of them are quite good. I don't think any of them are like. There's no bad lists, which is
no,
going to make
no,
it a bit interesting when the games actually do go to happen. Looking at the
yeah,
boys squads, it's a breakdown of. I have been seeing people run splits of shooters and sluggers. Personally, I hate that, and apparently Scania does too, because he is running a unit of one big unit of boys that are all shooters, two big units of boys that are all shooters, and one smaller squad. So this is all shooters here, all
yeah.
shooters, and all slugger choppers in this smaller squad. But they are going to get the +1 attack for being over 20, and with the jump, he is going to be able to be surprisingly mobile with this list, which is really good.
Yeah, look, this is a very similar list I first tried in when I was doing the tournaments, and yeah, look, it works really really well because of just so many boys, and I think we've said that before. And it's no, it's gonna be tough, and having all those shooters, he's gonna kill basically anything infantry that comes up to him. How he goes,
That's a big thing of it too, because it's an only orc league.
yeah,
Shooters are surprisingly good.
yes.
So that's I say that shooters are surprisingly good against boys. You will find in the list as we go over them, not everyone's taking boys.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of boys being taken. There seems to be a surprisingly large amount of meganobs. Meganob seems to be a crowd favorite. And there's quite a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
buggies happening as well. So like the shooters kind of fall off on the wayside there, but yeah. Otherwise, they're pretty good at taking out like tank busters, anything with a t-shirt save. Shooters are
how do
still
you
going to do
think
the
he's
job.
gonna go against all the armor
This will
that will
struggle against the armor, but it's going to play the objective game so well. So looking at
yeah,
the back line here, there's 3 units minimum units of 5 commandos, each with a knob, and those units, if he's playing the missions, he's going to be able to get those deploy scramblers or repair teleport homer or just steal objectives really easily, while
yeah.
you're having to deal, like you have to deal with the 90 boys that are running down the field at you. Like it's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard for anyone. And he does have that little bit of anti armor in the form of the 10 looters. So he
Yeah.
is running 10. There is no spanners in that, so he's not going to be doing more spanner, so there's no tricky business going on. It's just going to be throwing a weight of dice across the table. And with the minimized board size, they're even more dangerous because you're just going to be able to see them.
Did I see any rockets in these lists? I didn't, did I?
There is a combi rocket on the Warboss, and
Ah,
that
yeah.
is it. But yeah, with the Pain Boy being able to give the Feel No Pain to a big unit, the War Banner being able to give the +1 to hit to multiple units if they're close enough,
5 minutes, yeah.
the Weird Boy being able to just throw a squad of guys at him, the Custom Force Field making them
Force field.
surprisingly resilient. It's going to be a hard list. It's definitely going to be a hard list. So
Yeah,
good,
yeah, this is
good to
gonna
see Scania repping the Blood Axes there. It's going to be fun. The next one we're going to move on to is your list, Brack. If you want to
my
do a
list,
bit of
all
a
right.
breakdown.
Okay, what I have a war boss, and he's the biggest boss. He's basically just a cheaper shooter and custom shooter, power claw with the bigger claw. I Warlord trait is the might is right. So basically, with all that shenanigans, I've got what 6 attacks, strength 6. It's yeah, he's a beast that way, and he is always accompanied by a pain boy for little extra added protection. And he is going to be in the... I'm doing this a bit strange this way. He's going to be in the Bone Breaker with the 3 Mega Knobs or with kill saws.
It's a very killer unit.
That's a big killer unit.
Nice.
And the next HQ choice is just your garden variety custom force field mech. And he's going to be in the gun wagon, which looks like a Lehman Russ there. So just to make things a bit easier to be visual on this game. And he's going to be with 10 knobs, 3 of which have double kill saws and 7 have big choppers. Now, yeah, that's probably a bit risky. We don't see a lot of knobs, but I want to give them a go. I want to see how they play out. And so with that gun wagon does have the Bone Breaker. Not the Bone Breaker.
The custom job.
Boomer. The boomer.
Yeah.
The custom job boomer. And I'll probably be playing him down the back. Just slowly sort of going up, and those knobs jump out to deal with anything that tries to come in and sneak in through the back door, so to speak.
That's a lot of points on knobs.
That's a lot of points on knobs, and it's probably not the wisest thing to do, but I have not been known for my wiseness. But yeah, I loved big chopper knobs in 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And I just want to play with it again. What else we have? And then we have the Tank Busters, and they're on a truck. And it's 10 Tank Busters, 2 Bomb Squigs in a truck.
No pistols, no hammers, just boys with rockets.
Just boys with rockets. And that plan is just, and it's sort of to go against all the armor. I'm not quite sure how they're going against Scar's list. It'll probably just, I'll probably have to fire into them that way.
You do have a lot of anti-armor in the list. There's quite a lot of effective killing stuff.
Yeah. Look, when I first did the list, I did have more anti-infantry, but then I swapped a few things. Hence why I have 2 shock jump buggies.
Dragsters,
where I had instead when I once had was the Boomdacker Snaz wagon. That was my anti-infantry, but now I'm going for the double sneak attack with those, which I absolutely love. They're really good.
And with the custom job too, taking 2 of them just means you're getting more value out of it.
Yeah,
just more value for your CP.
If I can find buildings to hide, then that'll be great. After I've done me shooting. And have I mentioned I've got commandos? There's 5 commandos in there as well. And that's just so I can come on a little bit later and hopefully grab a sneaky objective. So it is a very elite list. Now, why I've done that is because I feel that with Death Skulls, you don't need boys, because you've got all the objectives secured with all the infantry. So you can actually spend a bit more cash and get some and get all the nice toys to do nasty things.
Having all the obsec, like you said, having all the obsec everywhere, but having the multiple characters in your vehicles means that you're going to be able to drop them onto an objective and keep going with it. Do you know what I mean? So you have objective potential. Your staying power on objectives is good with the mega knobs. It's not so good with knobs by themselves being 4-ups. But again, because it is an orc meta, they're still going to be surviving more than a lot of other things would anyway, just from being 2 wounds with a 4+ save. But yeah, so I feel like the objective game, you've got mobility, you've got some stuff that can deep strike in, you've got stuff that can teleport around, and you're going to be quite killy. So I think the list definitely has some legs, man. There's not.
Oh yeah,
it's not the softest list, but it's certainly like you said, Scania's is probably the scariest one for you because it's just so many bodies.
And My list is only got 39 models. Is that the
Yeah,
smallest list?
39. You so from the giant to David.
Yeah,
from
that's
from Goliath to David. 39 model count is the lowest of
yeah.
the lists. So just a little bit of breakdown of the 8 players. We have 3 Evil Sons, running 3 Death Skulls, 1 Bad Moon player, and 1 Blood Axe player. Of the 8 lists, only 3 of them are running planes. We have 7 Battle Wagons over the 8 lists, with a couple of them running multiple. We have 5 lists are running buggies. 3 of them are running 3 buggies, and of the 12 buggies, 8 of them are shock jumps. I thought
That's
that
just amazing.
I thought that was a pretty crazy stat. Like, no one, I don't understand why no one wants to run anything but. It's like we have 3 of the scrap jets, the Megatrack scrap jets, and 1 custom booster blaster. But yeah, everything else, if there's a buggy, it's a shock jump dragster, which is
Look,
pretty crazy.
but what I think is sort of dictating what people have taken is that most of the guys I've talked to, they're actually basing their lists off models they own.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I've done with
So
mine. Mine's the Revenwing, which we'll
so we've
touch on later.
so I think that's why we're not seeing more optimized buggies.
Mm.
You know, maybe they just don't have them, and why we're going for more battle wagons, because it's what they've got, as opposed to let's just find all the really killy stuff and make a list that way. But which is nice. I think it's good. I think it's really good. But um,
So the
I
next
know,
one we have to go on to is the only Bad Moon, and that's our good friend Essex, Clint from Essex Boys. Again, link will be in the description. He's another one of the YouTube brethren, another war boss from the Warhammer 40k Orc community group, and yeah, he's the only Bad Moon player. So doing a little bit of a breakdown on what's in his list, he has a Warboss in Mega Armor with the biggest boss, Killer Claw. He's running Follow Me Lads, which I thought was interesting, as well as being a custom shooter. So the Follow Me Lads is the extra range on the War if you already have it, isn't it?
yeah, it's the War and the Breaking Heads if you already have it.
Mm. And you also get a CP back for that one, don't you?
Yeah, you can
Nice.
get an extra CP.
The Weird
It's
Boy is running to jump and the Bad Moon's Gleaming gear, which is surprisingly useful. And again, especially in the Orc meta, it's going to be really good.
Yes, we've been watching some. He's been playing some games on tabletop with that, and he's had some reasonable results in keeping his boys alive a little bit longer. So
Not even just boys though, like increasing the battle wagon saves or the dread saves to +1 makes them a lot more survivable. A couple of units of shooter boys, just small units of 10. Unit of 10 Gretchen, 2 units of 5 Mega Knobs, both of which are 3 and 2, so 3 with twin saws and 2 with the claws, and the custom shooters, I believe. Yep, and all custom, and so 2 with custom shooters and claws, and 3 with twin saws is how the breakdown of the Mega Knobs is. Also running a Pain Boy to go into one of the wagons, a battle wagon or 2 battle wagons. Both of them have Ard cases, and one of them is a Fortress. He's running 2 Def Dreads. He said he was inspired by me playing my Dread list to run these. So these are the Mecha Dread models. They've been downscaled deliberately because the Def Dreads look freaking terrible on TTS. So he's going to be using these as the Def Dreads, and he's actually running them as the quad custom Mega Blaster Dreads. So they are super shooty, and with that reroll 1s, he doesn't have to worry too much about that get hot.
Yeah, they get hot rule there. That does scare me, because he can jump down behind and just blow things up.
Important to note too is the sparkly bits, so the +1 to shooting.
Oh yeah.
shooting like madmen.
Shooting like a bad moon. Yeah, it's. This is. I like this. it is how I envision a Bad Moon list to be. There's boys, there's a bit of fight, but there's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of shooting, and everything's amped up to the max, which is great.
The only other thing in the list is as I mentioned, the jet. One Dakka jet with 6 super shooters, so there's quite a lot of shots coming out of that. And in this meta of just orcs, Dakka jets kind of reign supreme. I feel they're super fast. They're quite killy. They throw a lot of shots. They're just really really good.
Well, we've just been watching a practice game before, and he has been flying that thing in behind lines and just turning Gretchen into little mushroom dust.
Just wiping whole units off objectives.
Yeah, and so it's good to see that he's finally learned how to play the objective game. Well, it's good for him, not so good for us. And so yeah, that's going to be a tough one to beat.
It's a lot of armor. That's the big thing of it. It's quite a lot of armor with quite a lot of shooty. Going on to my list, we have Depay Lork. This is my Revan Wing. This is an army that I have in real life. I'm pretty sure I've done a showcase video on it before. Not sure if I've done an updated one where I've added the buggies to it, because I have kit bashed some shock jumps and added those to the list. So just to break it down, I'm running Evil Sons in this because we're going to be thematic and I'm not going to be gamey. I've got the Warboss on a Warbike, and we have allowed legends in this little mini tournament. So I'm also running a Shock Attack Gun Big Mech on a bike, which is going to be fun. The 2 units of boys in trucks, 3 units of Warbikers, just units of 6. One of the units has the custom job, so they have the extra inches to their movement. The 3 shock jump dragsters with the custom job. And 2 units of 5 storm boys with a boss knob with claw in each. And that is my 1,500 points.
Why did you go speed. Storm boys and not commandos?
So this really did just go for the speed. So I could have gone just commandos, but I wanted to be able to get down with the unit so they can do everything that commandos can do, except they can move 12 inches.
Yes.
So it really comes down to the speed. So if I wanted to, I could probably get rid of all of those and add 3 units of commandos, but I was going for theme.
You go for theme. Yeah. Oh, look, it's a good theme, and it's so fast. I've played against this before. Bit of a disclaimer, and it is very, very fast. Now, the list itself, me personally, I'm not concerned about it. I think there are ways to beat it. However, that's not what I'm scared about. What I'm scared about is that Pale can plays this really, really well. So I'm more worried about your playing style than your list. And yeah, look, what this is really good for, you get in, you just get into the middle of the board, and then he can control it, guys. He really can control the whole board from there, and you're struggling.
Yeah, I've got an exemplary track record with my Revan Wing since 8th ed. I think I've only lost 1 game in all the games I've played with my Revan Wing, and looking at my 9th edition games, I've only lost very few, and looking at the 1,500 bracket, that's even less. So I've been doing really well playing orcs in the recent times. I've always considered myself to be pretty good at the game, but I have a lot of practice with this list. So a lot of the times at tournament goers will tell you, if you're a big part of it is just knowing your list inside and out. The better you know your list, the better you're going to play with it. It doesn't matter if it's not the best list. If you are a good player and you know how to play your list just better than the other player can play their list, you've got a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be a big thing. Like I've deliberately gone for what is a themed list. It's speed. It's all about speed. It's a as soon as I started playing orcs and I saw a White Scars army, I wanted to do a biker themed orc
I
army.
think,
So this is the Revan Wing in all its glory, and I hope I do pretty well with it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be hard for anyone playing against it if I get first turn, because I'm just already across the table turn one.
yeah, and that's yeah. I have experienced that, folks, and it wasn't pretty.
The Drunken Orc, a good friend Sydney from across the pond, is running Death Skulls. He's also running I think it's a patrol detachment of the Cheeky Zoggers or the Grot Mobs in this one as well. And it's quite a lot of mech guns, or quite a lot of cannons. So
Now,
yeah, sorry, you go.
I said that I was scared of Scania's list. This one also scares me, but for different reasons. Yeah, it's a bit like there's lots of boys, but there's a lot of punch and power and firing power that's going to just cut through that armor. And I think, yeah, and he can control the board with that army really, really well.
Yeah, the 3 units of commandos at the back here. The unit of shooter boys, or 3 units of shooter boys. One's a larger unit. The weird boy with the jump. Warboss on a bike, because it's a given. Warboss on a bike is just so good. Big mech with custom force field in the Cheeky Zoggers, or in the Grot Mob. 1, 2, 3, 4 custom mega cannons and 6 lobbers. So the indirect fire from these guys is going to deal with chaff. But then the combination of these being able to reroll ones, the custom mega cannons, being able to reroll the ones, and the shock jumps having their anti-tank, there's enough effective anti-armor in this list that it's definitely going to be a threat. It's definitely a solid list.
And those lobbers could really make short work of Scar's list too. So
if he rolls well, they don't even need to roll well. It's like guaranteed 6 hits out of each of them with the blast. That's crazy.
It's look, this I think Drunken knows how to play this game. Definitely knows how to make a list.
He hasn't played properly for a long time though. He's well out of practice, but I definitely see it doing pretty well. If he can pilot it well, if he can remember how to play, I could see him doing great things.
Yeah, this is a good list.
Let's go on to Dread.
Now, there is one thing I hate about this list, and it's Death Skulls. Dread is meant to be the Dread captain. I've said this many times in other places. And look, why isn't he doing the freebooting? I suspect he's going for cheese.
You can read the list out on this one.
I can? I probably will. I'm not going to find it first. Okay. All right. He starts off. So his Warlord is the big mech in mega armor. And he's brutal but cunning. He's got the Killer Claw, the Cleverest Boss, Grot Oiler. So the Cleverest Boss, that means he can actually get a better weapon skill, doesn't it? So
yeah, it basically makes him a war boss.
Yeah, a little war boss.
Yeah.
He's got custom force field.
He's so cute.
A little war boss. My littlest war boss. Sorry. And the custom Mega Blaster. Now, this is a Death Skulls war boss or warlord. It's made for the Death Skulls re-rolls in mind. And yeah, I'm a little worried about him. The next HQ is just another garden variety big mech with a custom force field, and so he's obviously going into a battle wagon there. He's done what most people do when they need troops. I forgot to tell you what his detachment was, wasn't he? He's gone for battalion detachment. So you see this a lot with Orc players when they do battalion. They try and minimise their troop choices as much as they can. So there's one lot of boys, they're slugger boys, and the boss knob has a big chopper, and then there's 2 lots of 10 Gretchen. So still nothing to sneeze at. These are really good at holding back the back line and objectives in his deployment zone.
Being smaller squads too, they're easy to
And of
hide.
course, yeah, they can hide really, really well. So, look, a lot of people do it, and there's for good reasons why they do it. And the main reason is that he can spend all these points on his elites. Now, he's got 2 lots of Mega Knobs. Now, the first lot, is the boss Mega Knob has a Power Claw and a Combi Scorcher. He also has another mate with a Power Claw and a Combi Scorcher, and then 2 other Mega Knobs with double kill saws. I do not want to charge against that. And then he has the other Mega Knob squad is same fit out on the boss Mega Knob, so Power Claw, Combi Scorcher, but he has 3 friends with double kill saws. So that's his vehicle hunting unit, I would suspect. And then to add that, he has the knob with the War banner.
Yeah, so they don't get the neg to hit. It's going to be...
So they get the neg to hit. Oh yeah, that's just yeah. Yeah, this is brutal. This is I shudder to think what he's going to do with that. And well, I'm actually going to be playing Dread first, so I really worry if my knobs are going to handle this. I'm going to have to get in early and fast.
Yeah, you need to get... Whoever gets the jump on the other person is going to swing it.
Yeah.
It's going to be very swingy.
Yeah. And it's going to be one big knob off. The man with the best knob is going to win.
Two playing with their knobs.
And then we have the fast attack. So he's got 2 Death Copters in one unit, and he's got big shooters, which you very rarely see. It's usually the rockets, because that's what people tend to have. So good for getting rid of infantry. And he has another Death Copter unit with the same thing, so big shooter. And next fast attack is 5 Storm Boys with a boss knob with a Power Claw. If I was him and I was playing this, I wouldn't put them in reserves. I'd have them up hiding, and that way they can get the jump on things like what's the secondary? Is that engage all front or cool areas?
Engage in all fronts.
Engage in all fronts.
These are really good at getting engage. They're also really good at deploy scramblers or the repair teleport homer.
Yeah, yeah. So if he plays the objective game here, he should be okay.
He's just got to remember to play the mission. If he remembers to play the mission and not focus too much on the killie and try to play like 6th and 7th, then he should do pretty well. Just to round out the list, he's just got the 2 battle wagons or battle wagon chassis here. One of them is a bone breaker with the red roller, and the other one is a battle wagon with a big shooter and a zap gun that has also been custom jobbed to the zag zap. So that's going to be the auto hit from mortal wounds across the table.
That's nasty.
I would prefer to see that on a gun wagon though, so that he could take advantage of it and shoot twice. That would be...
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't shoot twice. That would have been better. But hey, I think it could be points, or it just could be what he likes. And he's got the bone breaker, so that's got the red roller. That's about all he's got on that.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else on it. No guns, no hard case, no grot rigger, just a roller full of knobs.
Full knobs.
The last thing he's got in his list is the Dakka Jet. Again, another Dakka Jet with 6 super shooters. So he also has that long-range killie threat.
Yeah.
Just wiping them off the table. The next list we have to look at is Aniacs. Aniac and Techy are not YouTubers, but they are members of the 40k Orc community. And they were invited because circumstance they were playing TTS on the server or on our Discord. So I thought I'd throw an invite to them, and they were happy to play. So So going through Aniac's list, he is one of the 3 Evil Sons players. He's running a Big Mech with a custom force field. So this is a battalion. A Warboss in Mega Armor, which is this Warlord here, the Gaskell model there. A Warboss on a Warbike with a Killsaw and Super Cyborg body. Not what you usually see, but he has put all the biggest boss to Killer Claw and all that on the larger one.
Yeah.
He's also running a Combi Scorcher, which is a big theme through this list. Because if you're looking at the Mega Knobs, he has all the Mega Knobs are running claws and Combi Scorchers.
Yeah, that's surprising. It is surprising to see, but yeah. Another unit I don't want to charge.
Yeah, it's the Overwatch and that is going to be nuts. I do not want to charge that. Like even my bikes, even at toughness 5, my bikes,
Yeah.
a unit of 6 of them against 5 Combi Scorchers just going, okay, auto hits. That's not good. I'm not looking forward to playing against that at all. 3 minion units or units of 10.
Yep.
These are all Slugger Choppers. And they have boss knobs, 2 with big choppers, and 1 is just chopper. The Battle Wagon is a Battle Wagon with a Death Roller and a Fortress.
Yep.
We have the Custom Booster Blaster and a truck. So the truck is just transporting some knobs. Battle Wagon transporting some knobs, as well as the Warlord and the Big Mech. The Warboss on a Warbike, super fast, super killy. Not optimized Warboss, but it's still going to be killy. And then to finish off the list, he has the 5 commandos, but he's taken advantage of the legends and taken a burner boy.
Yep.
So there's 1 burner in there, as well as the knob taking a slugger chopper. So a little bit of a sneaky unit there, but it's also got a little bit of kill in it with the burner. And then the last 4 things is the tractor cannon and 3 smasher guns. Now, they're not in a grot mob, so they're not going to get the reroll ones, but they're still an effective unit.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
And looking at this part of it is pretty freaking scary. The back corner of it is very...
With all those scorches, it's... I wonder how this would go if you took the specialist mob, the Pyromaniacs.
To reroll.
Yeah.
Well, it comes down to running it as Evil Sons. He doesn't seem to have taken any of the Evil Sons specific stuff, but it does give him the extra inches to all his movement. So yeah, I see it being.
So useful. He's great. Oh yeah. Look, it's a great list because he can get up nice and fast and start burning. Yeah, look, there's something that does sort of scare me a little bit about an NX list, Mr. Pale, and that is that he's unknown. We don't really see him much and have a chat like I know most of the other guys, except for Techy, of course. And we haven't seen his playstyle. So I suspect that he knows his army really, really well, mainly because of the things that he has chosen with all those scorches. He's definitely got a plan. So how it goes out on the field is, look, I think he's going to be devastating.
Yeah.
And so that's...
Again, especially in this meta, it's those scorches are going to be hard hitting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
The last one we're going to touch on here is Techy. Techy is, again, another unknown quantity, and he is also running an Evil Sons list. This one is a... What do we got? What's the detachment? Why can't I scroll up? 1 sec. This is a patrol, of all things.
Patrol.
So he's running a Big Mech with a custom force field. He's also running the Warboss on the bike. Tried and true. It works. Why fuck with it? He's running Arda's Nails. The biggest boss, the Killer Claw and Warlord on that one. And then we have...
What's Arda's Nails?
I could not even tell you. That's how much I have not seen it. I can't remember if it... I think it might be +1 attack or something like that. Something similar.
Well, you go through the list and I'll have a look at the codex.
No worries. And then we're going to go with the units of boys. 2 small units of boys. One is Slugger Choppers. They're all Slugger Choppers. One is a unit of 10 with a knob, and one is a unit of 9 with a knob. Tank buster in each squad. 1 unit of 10 Gretchen, sitting in the back there. The Wild Banner knobs with kill saws. All saws on the all 4. The Big Mech has a Grot Oiler. The Battle Wagon is a Battle Wagon with Ardcase, Death Roller, Grot Rigger, and Fortress. So it's killy, it's hard to kill, it's everything a Battle Wagon needs to be. And he's running a Burner Bomber, and these, although they look like the custom booster blasters, they're actually just sub-ins for 3 Megatrack Scrapjets. Between the 3 Scrapjets and that Burner Bomber, he's got quite a lot of power in this list.
A lot of power. So Harder Nails, that's the add 1 to your Warlord's toughness characteristics.
Plus 1 toughness.
So he's just trying to make him a little bit more durable, I'd say, there.
So that'll make... Is the toughness 8? Will that be a toughness 8 Warboss on a bike?
Yeah.
It's as tough as a Battle Wagon.
He's basically a Battle Wagon with a claw.
That's nuts. That's great.
Yeah. That's just great. And so the Burner Bomber, how many games do you think he's going to do the flying headbutt?
It comes down to circumstance. So the Burner Bomber itself has guns that are effective, and it's got Scorcher missiles and stuff, so it's got enough killy. But if you're silly enough to give him an opening where he can hit multiple units with the flying headbutt, he's going to do it, and he's going to deal D6 mortal wounds to everything that he can hit within 3 inches or 6 inches, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's, if he can get it off turn 1, it's fast enough to be able to hit the table turn 1, hit the other deployment zone turn 1, and if it's, depending on deployment, if he can hit multiple units with it, it's going to be very, very strong. But even if he turn 1, turn 2, just gets some shots off on it, and then decides he wants to do it later on, it's D6 mortal wounds is nothing to poke a stick at.
especially if you want to go boss hunting. Yeah.
And the amount of killy that's going to come out of those 3 Scrapjets is they're so strong, so strong.
So their custom job can allow them to.
So they have to fight twice.
Yeah.
So for anyone unfamiliar, the Scrapjets come with essentially power fist attacks. So they're strength 6 plus 2 with their saws or their whatever their weapon is, and then they hit you at, I think it's neg 2 or neg 3 and damage D3. 4 attacks base, but then Corkscrew allows you to attack again immediately after you've consolidated, which happens right after you fight. So you can fight, and then you consolidate, and then you fight again. So fight twice on each of what is 8 wound buggies or 6 wound buggies.
He's going to go through enemy lines just like that.
And a surprising amount of anti-tank coming out of them too, because they're 2D3 rockets plus wing missiles as well.
Yeah.
And then they have the 12 big shooter shots coming out of them as well.
Yeah.
So
they're brutal.
They're all rounders. They can kill boys. They can kill boys. They can kill bikes. They can kill tanks. They can kill. Yeah. This is a scary list. This is a very scary list.
Yeah, that is scary, because he's an unknown. We don't know how. We don't know what he's going to do with it. I suspect kill a lot of orcs.
Regardless of who wins and who loses, orcs will always be the victor.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is 8 lists. This is 8 armies that are playing in our little player league that we have organised.
And quite a varied list too. There's some that are close, but with enough surprises to be a bit different. I will not hazard a guess who is going to come out of this the winner. I really think it could be anyone here.
Yeah, there's no standout. Definitely no standout, I don't think.
No. And it's going to come down... It's really going to come down to, I think, the mission at the time and who you're playing and their individual playing skill. I think it's going to be... I'm excited. I'm excited to see all these games.
I'm keen too. Very keen.
To see this.
Again, this is a prequel tournament. After I've gotten through this, basically trying to work the kinks out. If it works, I'm going to open it up to the 40k Orc community as a larger thing. So if you play TTS, if you love Orcs, if you love Orc content, if you're going through COVID stuff and you can't get out and play at your local gaming store, get onto TTS 40k. It is not hard. Once you get to know what you're doing on it. It's basically, once you learn the TTS side of it, it's just playing the game.
And also come over to the 40k Orc community Discord, if you're looking for a game, there'll be a lot of people who'll be willing to play with you. Just come in, say g'day, and I'm sure we can actually hook up a friendly game with you. So
Trying to grow interest in the TTS side of things.
yeah,
Just while this COVID stuff's going on, it's just a good way, or especially like for us, especially we're in Australia. Everyone else in this is playing from the UK or Amsterdam. It's just good to be able to play against people
yeah,
that otherwise we're never going to have the opportunity.
no,
It's just great to have this opportunity to actually play games against these people and have a laugh while we're doing it. None of us
yeah,
taking
even
this hugely seriously, but we are going to try and be competitive. The banter is going to be on.
this, yeah. And I suspect that most of the killing will be done during with the banter and not the actual rolling of the dice.
But yeah, this has been a
But
lot of fun. Thank you for joining me, Brack. Again, I
no
will leave
worries. It was
in the
been it's
description.
been great.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good to see that we can actually get a game in too, because we're quite far apart as well. You know, we're what 1,500 kilometers away from each
yeah,
other.
we're still like 8 9 hours apart, so
Yeah,
it's yeah, no, it's good. It's
damn
gonna be
big
great.
country.
I'm so keen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, no, thanks for letting me on and have a little chat. This has been a blast.
Thanks again. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I will
Yeah,
catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching,
and
guys.
remember, if you go on crumping, you got to bash early and bash often.